This is a pretty good-sized group of people here. It's enough to cause a person to be stage struck if they're so inclined to be. I want to thank the committee who selected me to this great honor, which I certainly consider it. And of course, I would like to thank some people who made this possible for me. First, the Altoona School Board, which selected me to be the head coach at Altoona. They selected me from a list of very fine coaches. I never expected to get it. And then, of course, the administration at Altoona High School, when I first went there, they were excellent. In fact, the first 18 years, I was there 20 years, the first 18 years I was there, I had the finest cooperation of any high school coach, I think, in the state of Pennsylvania. The last 2 years I can't say because I outlived the administration and the school board. There was a new one in, and they thought we ran the ball too much, I think. We had a coaches meeting one time, and we threw 5 passes that game. We graded all the films and so forth. All 5 were incomplete. I told our coaching staff we're throwing the ball too much. I want to thank my wife and family who's here because they suffered through a lot of tough years. I was a head coach for 24 years. That's about a quarter of a century. And my wife and them put up with a lot of late meals. They put up with a lot of criticism up in the stands. And without a wife that's sort of mentally tough, I don't know whether you can handle this job. I'd like for my wife to stand up, please. Also, in Altoona, we had probably the nicest combination of team physician and trainer that anybody could possibly have. Dr. Oliver Mattis and the late George Varner. Those men were a tremendous asset to our football program. Now, I'd like to mention my assistant coaches. That was another thing that we had up here. We had some good assistant coaches. No head coach can do the job without a lot of assistants. Now, I'm going to name quite a list of these, but this was a 20-year period. They weren't all here at one time. These are high school assistants. Wally Fields, who came up with me from the late Wally Fields, he died of cancer. Harry Dingus, Jack Hopper, Byron Ashburn, Cyril Ramsey, he also passed away. Ron Rickens, who was with me for 14 years. Tim Montgomery, who is the most successful, a real successful high school coach at Williamsport High School right now. He's been a little tough on Altoona. Then the next 2 men are still in the school system, Jimmy Gardner and Mel Fry, and I'm surprised that they're not being utilized because these are very fine, talented coaches. Then we had Lou Glasshauser, Dean Rossi, who's a talent scout with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now, Al Pacifico, Buddy Geis, of course you've heard of him tonight, he's an assistant coach with the Green Bay Packers, Milford Pittman and John Colombo. That was our list of assistant coaches. I feel that we had a successful career. I'd love to see Altoona get back in the same, I'd say the same level of competition and the same success. We didn't win them all, but we won most of them. Now that can be done here. You know, the last couple of years I was here, that was cut this, cut that, cut the size of the coaching staff, don't spend this, don't spend that. If they're going through that, if they're still going through that, they've got to change around. Open the cash register and start spending some money. And of course, if you spend that money, let's hire some assistant coaches so you have enough. If you have 88th graders out there and a couple coaches, they're not going to be able to get much instruction. You have to have assistant coaches that can teach a boy a stance and the basic fundamentals, because fundamentals is a game. Blocking and tackling is first. You can throw the ball too some. Thank you very much.